Greetings and konnichiwa, and welcome to the Onyx Tavern. This is your host, the BARKEEP, bringing you podcast 84 here at the Tavern, presented by Hirotaku.com. Well, first, everybody, I'd like to go ahead and apologize. The length of time it has taken between podcast 83 and 84. I have been in Japan for the last 3 weeks. I've been working like crazy with my studies. I've been going to a lot of places, doing a lot of things, made a lot of new friends. So I unfortunately just didn't have time to go ahead and do the podcast. I do apologize for that tremendously, but I do hope to make up for it with a couple of videos about some new Power Ranger and Sentai news that's been coming out of San Diego Comic-Con. Specifically, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm also going to go ahead and post at least one video about Super Sentai, and I will get at least one or two more vlogs all in before the 1st of August. That is at least my hope anyway. But in any case right here, I think today let's go ahead and talk about something that has came out of San Diego Comic-Con, something that may not seem very important to a lot of people, but this is kind of a big issue for a number of reasons. I want to go ahead and talk about it. Now, once again, Dino Charge will be coming out next year, and at the Bandai booth, they went ahead and revealed the Dino Charge Zords. Now, the most obvious thing from these, from at least the pictures I've seen, is that they are nothing like the Japanese counterparts. They are not the Japanese molds. They are completely Bandai of America mold. That's kind of been par for the course now, so that really wasn't a big surprise to me, but I've had a couple of people kind of make that comment that, well, they're not using Japanese molds, blah, blah, all that. So, yeah, that's not kind of the big thing to talk about here. What has been revealed is that the Dicera counterpart, which I'm just going to refer to as the Triceratops Zord, has been recolored from pink to purple. Let me repeat that. The Pink Ranger Zord, a series which will have a Pink Ranger as the main female lead in the series, will have a purple Zord in the toy line. I am at a loss for words, really. It's just the most bizarre and absurd thing that has come out of, I think, San Diego Comic-Con, or at least the news I've been reading. What you're seeing is an image of the Bandai Japan and Bandai America models at the top. For one, again, the models look different than the Japanese counterparts, and that is definitely a shade of purple. That's not Photoshop, that's not change. That is a purple Triceratops that you are seeing there. And of course, the big issue that this raises is, or the big question this raises is, why? Why are they doing this? Why are they changing the color of the Pink Ranger Zord? And I can't emphasize that enough because it is the Pink Ranger. They are not taking Kiyu Violet and putting her on the team or making this her Zord. No. They are taking the Pink Ranger and giving her a purple Triceratops. Now, doubtful this will be happening in the series, but the toy is purple. Also keep in mind that we were getting Paleozon probably later in the series, maybe in the 2016 when they do Supercharge, which again will be purple, meaning we'll have two purple Zords, one of which belonging to the Pink Ranger. But here are two things that immediately came to my mind when I heard this story. One, this is coming from the same company that in 1995, and with the re-release in the early 2000s, decided to turn the White Shogun Zord pink. Again, the White Shogun Zord that came with the Shogun Megazord released in 1995 here in America was turned from white, which was its Kaku Ranger and Japanese counterpart, to a pink Zord, despite the fact that was, one, white in the series, two, was primarily piloted by the White Ranger, and was only piloted by the Pink Ranger as a secondary co-pilot. Yet, Bandai of America at that time felt the need to make the White Shogun Zord, which, again, it's in its name, White Shogun Zord in the show, into a pink Zord. And of course, this had no bearing on the television show whatsoever, as in the television show, it was always white, and it was always Tommy's Zord. Why they changed it to pink remains up for debate, but I think most people kind of agree on the idea that they've always had pink Zords. It belongs to the Pink Ranger, therefore it should be pink, even though it makes no sense if you're basing it off of show accuracy. But then again, this was the same summer, or the same year in which they released the movie edition of the Ninja Megazord and Falcon Zord, but there was no difference to them whatsoever. They were not the movie counterparts, and of course in some cases, thank goodness for that. But that's the first thing that came to mind, that almost 20 years ago, they think, yeah, we can go ahead and take a white Zord and turn it pink. Not a big deal. But we can't have a pink Triceratops in Dino Charge. Now, my second reaction again to this is, why are they doing this? And I kind of had an idea in my head of like, well, maybe they're doing it because of this, but I don't know. I'll have to get some information on it. Now, after reading several tweets and blogs and people supposedly talking to the Bandai booth and all that, the explanation, this is the gist of what I'm getting, is that they changed it purple because pink is not a boy's color. Let that sink in for a second here. Let's ignore the fact that that's being incredibly sexist, that you're saying pink is a girl's color, and we are selling a product that girls will not like, therefore we're going to make it more appealing to boys. Which, I want to know what they did with the testing groups here. They brought out they probably brought out the original cool Kyoryuger version, and they do you like the pink one? And everybody's like, no, it was probably the least favorite because, one, it's kind of stupid as a toy anyway. Of all the Triceratops Zords, it's not really the best, and the drill doesn't even spin. So, there's that. But, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of really frustrated on this point. They're saying that the reason they recolored it has nothing to do with story, has nothing to do with character, has nothing to do with what's actually going on in the show. They just think that a toy that is pink will not be bought by the American male audience. Now, if they are really gearing this show towards 5-year-olds, which they claim, why does it matter if it's pink or not? It's in the show. Okay. So, summer of 95, I was about 10, maybe 11 years old. And when the Power Rangers Shogun Zords came out, they were awesome. And then I saw the Shogun Megazord that my friends had. I was like, cool, you guys got the Shogun Megazord. And I noticed, one, the lightning bolt symbol did not match what was on the show, and two, that the white Shogun Zord was pink. And I'm like, that's not right. Why is it pink? That doesn't make any sense. That's not right. What's going on here? It blew my mind as a 10-year-old. Just like, this does not make sense. This does not compute. So what are you going to do with these kids? Why is there a purple Zord? That's the Pink Ranger. Or are you intentionally trying to mix them up with their colors at this age of learning? It's just a stupid thing to assume that they don't want because it's pink. Well, first of all, it belongs to the Pink Ranger. So unless you're going to get rid of the Pink Ranger and replace her with a Yellow Ranger, or Q Violet, make her the primary member on the team, which indeed would cut some of your footage, but that seems to be what you're trying to go with here. Why does it make sense to recolor it and make all this confusion to people? It's pink. And, here's the thing. The Dino Charge Megazord, more than likely, is going to come boxed as a set. It's not like they're going to individually market the Triceratops Dino Charge Zord by itself, which they typically do in Japan, but never did for the Dicera, of course, and not expect that to go ahead and sell. They will go ahead and package a Tyrannosaurus, Triceratops, and Stegosaurus all in one package, meaning that if you want the Tyrannosaurus and the Stegosaurus, the red and blue Zords, you're going to have to go ahead and buy the pink Triceratops. And do they really think that their sales are going to decline in that particular toy if there is one pink component in there? Which I like to give the audience of Power Rangers credit no matter what age they are. And if you think 5-year-olds are going to buy this, I think the 5-year-olds are going to go, oh, this is the Pink Ranger's Zord. Cool, this is her Zord, whatever. They're not going to get offended by the fact, oh no, I don't want that toy because it's pink. I'd rather have it purple, though. I mean, again, that's assuming that your audience is dumb and sexist. Which are two things I do not associate with Power Ranger fans. I don't associate being dumb or being sexist to them. The producers, yes. The writers, most definitely. But not the fans, okay? So it doesn't make any sense that they would go ahead and do that. Because, again, it's insulting, first off, that you're changing the molds and not giving us the high-quality Japanese product. Which, again, I don't know why they're not doing that anymore. But also that you're saying to the audience that we don't think you're going to buy this, so we're going to appeal to you in this way. Not the way that you really want. Because again, they could easily just release the Japanese version and all the kids will go ahead and buy it because the Japanese version is awesome. But no, they're like, we're not going to give you the original version. We're just going to recolor this because we assume that young boys aren't going to be interested in this pink Zord. I mean, that's just asinine. I mean, how many times in the Power Rangers past have we had pink Zords? Who says, I don't want the original Megazord because of the pink pterodactyl? No one's ever said, I don't want the Super Zeo Megazord because of the pink Zord. No one has ever said that. It is just ridiculous to me that they assume that they will not want the pink Zord because it's a girl's toy. And let's look at it from this perspective, too. What about the girls? I hate to break it to you guys, but girls like Power Rangers too. Yes, they may not be as numerous or as vocal as a lot of male fans. That's true of just about any geeky, nerdy thing, and that's just a fact of life. I'm just putting that out there. But are you telling me that a 5-year-old girl who likes Power Rangers will buy the toy and oh, it's purple? I mean, it's like, you're not... Okay, you don't have to appeal to girls with the pink dinosaur, but throw them a bone. We have a female that's hopefully going to be a good role in this series and not superficial like the last two, or the current two, however you want to go. Well, really, the new Saban Pink female Rangers, basically. But you're going to go ahead and assume that, again, just boys are going to go ahead and buy it, and boys are going to be alienated by the fact that it's pink. Well, what about the girls? I mean, I'm sure girls like purple and pink and red and blue and every color under the rainbow, but to assume that that kids will not be interested in it because it's pink, then why was the original pterodactyl Dinozord not white? Why did you recolor the white Shogun Zord pink? Why did you not recolor any other Pink Ranger Zord? Why is this the one that you are recoloring? Why, after 21 years, have you decided, now let's go ahead and recolor them? I really wonder about when we get to what will be the Tokyuger adaptation Rail Force, which, by the way, has a pink Zord and it's solid pink. I guess you can get away with the fact that a lot of the Pink Ranger Zords have been white with pink trim on them, and that's been true of a lot of them, Wind Chaser, Wind Rescue from Turbo, to name an example. Then we got the Mega V5 in space, and even up to Operation Overdrive, the sub, it's white with pink trim. I mean, the thing about the Dino-Charged Zords is that they are solid colors. They don't really have a lot of trim placed into them. That they are solid pink, they are solid blue, they are solid green, which kind of works to their benefit and not, because there's a lot of detailing, but a lot of that's not painted on there, which is kind of the main criticism I've had. But to have this out there that's a solid pink color, despite the fact you've been selling pink Zords for decades now, that now you decide to go ahead and change? I mean, really, what is prompting this change exactly? Is it the fact that this is the first fully pink, solid colored Zord ever? Or is there some other reason behind it? Because, again, if they want to say we want to change it because we want to appeal to boys, well, that's not how you do it. You make a better product. I just don't get it. I really don't. It doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe it makes sense in a marketing sense, but it doesn't make sense for the consumer, for people who are actually fans of the show. Now, if you're going to go ahead and buy the Bandai of America thing, then go ahead, have at it. I ain't going to ever buy it. But the reason I buy the toys from Japan is because they are superior and they are show accurate, something that Bandai of America has struggled with for the last 2 decades. And they are intentionally doing this. They have intentionally made this thing purple to not make it show accurate. They've intentionally decided not to use the exact Japanese mold to make it an inferior product. I mean, they are making things worse under the pretense that we're trying to appeal to the younger male demographic. I'm sorry. Giant robot dinosaurs that transform into larger giant robot dinosaurs. You've sold your premise. You're good to go. You don't need to do anything else to sell your audience on this. And again, why recolor it purple? Why not just leave it the way it is? Do you really think that if you sell it as a set, kids aren't going to buy it because it's pink in there? And you know what? I have news for you here. There are 11 Zords that will most likely be released. So if they don't like the pink one, maybe they'll put the Black Ranger Zord in there, or the Green Ranger's Raptor Zord in there, or Ankylodon, or any of the other armed snap-together combinations that are out there. You know, that's the beauty of modular Zords. That's the beauty of Kyuryuger and Super Sentai and Power Rangers as a whole, is that you can have nowadays any arm combination you want. You're not locked into a particular set that you have to have. And yet, they think that because it's pink, they're not going to go ahead and buy it. Which, again, is the dumbest thing that I've heard in quite some time from Bandai of America. I mean, the things they do are dumb enough. But the fact that they're recoloring it, and they have the guts to admit the fact that they recolored it because kids didn't want to buy, or excuse me, boys don't want to buy pink toys. I'm sorry. And if that's the case, why do you release Pink Ranger action figures every year? Why is there always a Pink Ranger in your set? I almost worry that one day, and it's probably not going to happen, but Sentai always has a Pink Ranger. Sometimes they will phase them out for a White Ranger with pink trim on her. Sometimes they'll have a Pink and White Ranger, or sometimes they'll make the female blue. I almost worry if the trend in America is going to set a precedent that Super Sentai might pick up on and just completely eliminate the Pink Ranger from the line altogether. And we will go back to having white female Rangers or blue female Rangers, or just something where pink is going to be eliminated. That way Bandai of America doesn't have to deal with this issue, which, again, is not an issue in Japan because, surprise, surprise, they bought Dicera, and you know what? They liked it. So I don't understand the big deal here. So, all right. Well, that's enough of my ranting on this particular topic. Now, next time I come back, I'm going to talk about the other big news that came out of San Diego Comic-Con and give you guys my full opinion on that. But this is just kind of my thoughts about just Bandai of America making another stupid decision, and another reason why we should not be buying their products, and we should be sticking to the Super Sentai stuff. So, there you are. Well, I want to thank you guys for listening. Again, sorry for the long time since the last video, but look forward to more here shortly. But anyways, thank you guys for listening. Have a good evening, and the tavern is now closed.